Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to prepare your Ableton project for mixdown when you send to me. So let's get tucked in, and if you can follow all these you're going to save a lot of time when it comes to your session of us doing things that we don't really need to be doing because you've prepared the session in advance. Okay, we've got the Ableton session here. What's the first thing that you should be doing? You should be going through your track and looking for tracks you're not using and deleting them. Anything that's muted, take it out and just delete them. That also includes going through and looking at any plugins that you're not using and deleting those plugins, and any audio files or MIDI files in the arrangement that you're not using that might be deactivated, also delete them. The second thing that I need you to do is make sure that you don't automate your track volume here. The reason for that is a lot of the time I need to pull all the faders down at the same time, and I can't do that if they've got automation on them. So I always recommend using the gain or using the output level on a FabFilter Pro Q3, which is what I do. It'll really help me if you use my color palette for when I'm mixing. It will save me a lot of time to go between things because I can automatically see where things are. As you can see here, this is my color palette and this is how I color everything. I have my kick in red and my bass in yellow, etc, etc, etc. My leads are always, I go from the brightest to being the main most important part of the track down. Lead vocals in light blue, backing vocals in a darker blue, strings in a green. It doesn't really matter as long as you kind of keep to that. I understand what's going on. My claps and my snares and my rims are all the mid drums, and my hi-hats and my shakers are always my high drums. All my effects like my whooshes, my white noises, my stabs, all that's in grey, and that's always at the bottom of the project. The next thing you can do is create groups. That will always help me because I'm always going to mix in groups. So the groups that I create are usually drums. Sometimes I have the kick out of that. So I might have a kick folder. I have a bass folder or group. I have a music group, a vocals group, and an effects group. Again, I use the same colour scheme as before, and then what I do is I put all them together and I put them into a pre-master group so that I can then treat them all together. When you're using third-party plugins, sometimes I may not have them, and sometimes the presets just don't, or your preset doesn't carry over to my project. It's very rare, but it does happen quite a bit with people like Arturia. So always with your main sounds and your lead sounds or your bass sound, if it is a soft synth, duplicate it, freeze and flatten that track. And when I say freeze and flatten it, if you've got a reverb on the channel, mute the reverb on the channel, because I always like to add the reverbs separately, because a lot of the time people put reverbs on and that's a part of the problem with the mix. That also applies to delays unless you're 100% sure that you love it. You'll be getting a copy of my plugin list, so please check them to make sure that I've got them, because when it comes to your session I don't want to be wasting your time because you haven't prepared. Okay, so you've got your project prepared. Now you have to send them me. So what do you have to do? It's very, very simple. If you go to File, Collect All and Save, press OK. it will then collect all the files that you've used externally and put them into the project folder. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got the samples here. We've got processed, which are the consolidated ones, and the recorded, and the imported. And I can see that all my audio files are in there. Just check this, because a lot of the time it doesn't come with some of the audio files in there. Another thing that people always do before they send the project is they send me just this .als file. That's no good for me, because I need this whole folder. I need Ableton project info, I need backup, and I need samples. I need all them in there. So this folder here where it says lo-fi project, this is what you need to send to me. So if you go to this and you compress it and then send that compressed file via Dropbox or WeTransfer or Google Drive or whatever you use, I can then download that and open up that my end. Once I've received your file, I'll open it up and just check and make sure that I haven't got anything missing, because it will come up here and say that plugins aren't working or files aren't missing. I will then get back to you. I hope this has really helped you, and I look forward to seeing you soon.